Greetings, I'm Epictetus, and this is Epic Tech, and something bad happened. I was out of iron, and coming back to the base from a mining run, and, well, there was a minor incident. We will reset the counter to 0 days without an accident. Yeah, it was sad. But that's okay. We will rebuild. That's right. It's, the damage is significant, but, it's doable. It's doable. And I didn't lose anything back here, so I got stuff. So some of that's from a previous mining run that I never unloaded. Didn't even notice until I was out of here. Alright. Anyway, I said I was going to move a bunch of stuff between episodes, and I still will. I gotta get that. But we need to, well, probably fine for a while. I'll fix this up later. I'm gonna kind of shove him in, see if I can push him in to the shop here. Yeah. A little bit further. Come on. Go. Alright, don't break the window, though. Oh, you'll be fine. Okay. Anyways. I've moved a few things, as you can see. I moved this guy. Had to pipe him in. So you can kind of see where I've connected, and it's underneath here. And I was actually just looking at piping up for the refinery when I realized I was out of iron and had to run and get some more. So this is the way we're going to do this. I'm probably going to have to hollow out a bunch of this so I can get around and do maintenance, but not maintenance, but, add to things. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to continue my work. I'm going to finish that up. This is going to come up, and we're going to have a refinery right here. Let's see. No. Yeah. So we'll have the refinery right there. You can see the connecting point right there. Gonna have it... Oh, not there. I'm sorry. We need to turn it around, otherwise we won't have a place to put our upgrades. So those upgrade slots there. So actually it'll be more like here, right? Yeah, and then it's actually going to need to come out one more, I just realized. So I'll have to change that. But then we can add, so we'll put one refinery here, but we'll be able to add another refinery next to it. And I'm thinking probably 3 refineries will do. That'll keep us going for a long time. Maybe I'll even just do 2 for now. And then the assemblers will be along here. And eventually we're going to need a bunch of assemblers. And I'll explain that later. But for now, we're just going to do 1 or so. Why is that not... Do I not have any steel plate on me? I do have steel plate. Why is that not wanting to connect? Probably because we'll see. Oh, I see why. Because it doesn't want to connect on that side because it's round. Blah, blah, blah. All right, anyway. I will be back in a bit once I've done some moving and collecting and producing and assembling and that kind of thing. I may have gotten carried away. No, I did it. Everything's gone from here except for the reactor, which I think we're eventually just going to make a bigger one. I'll leave that there for now. We'll see. So, I made 2 refineries. I got all the upgrades on them. Got them all piped in. Connected it up with 1 assembler, but we can continue making assemblers along this way. And you might be wondering why the funky layout for the pipe there. That's because I have a way that I like to hook up assemblers that gives the highest ability to upgrade. It's yeah, I mean, I probably won't even do that many upgrades, but it just means I don't have to reorganize them later. But anyway, these are doing their thing. I also piped in and put in another, removed that cargo container and piped it in. So from here, we have access to everything. Just, you know, moving stuff around. And this is we're going to automate this in a little bit. I want to do some other basic automation, but I want to point this out. Notice how my refinery number 2 here has everything and refinery 3 has nothing. Yeah, that's a little annoyance. It's smart enough to grab things and pull them into a refinery. It is not smart enough to grab things and pull them into a second refinery. So I've got a way around that we're going to look at later. But for now, we're going to be working on something else. I'm going to show you the built-in automation that's... Oh, look at this. Can you see that? That's bent there. That's where my head hit. Well, it's on the other side, though. I don't know what... Anyway. Apparently, I took out some steel plate with my head. Okay, it was the cockpit, but... There we go. All nice and fixed up. All right. Okay, so automation. The first thing I want to automate is a really basic thing. We're probably going to do something a little more complicated later, but for now, I want to show you something. The medical room is supposed to fill up my oxygen, my energy, and my hydrogen when I hold down the F key on it. And you can see my energy is filling up, my oxygen is full, but my hydrogen's not doing anything. Well, that has to do with the last episode. Last episode, we set up an oxygen tank and an oxygen generator. In order to keep the oxygen tank from constantly getting filled by the oxygen generator, we turned off the oxygen generator. Understandable. But the oxygen tank doesn't carry hydrogen. It only carries oxygen. So unless I want to create a hydrogen tank and fill it up, or a separate system for this, which I really don't want to do, I need to be able to change how that's configured. So I can go in and go find my oxygen tank and turn it off so it's not providing oxygen, and then turn on my oxygen generator, and then it will fill up both, and then go back in and switch them back again. Oxygen generator off, oxygen tank on. Or I could just turn on the oxygen generator, but then it's going to be filling up the tank, and eventually the tank will fill up and I won't be able to depressurize. Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to automate this, but I'm going to do the simplest one I can think of. And that is a sensor. So I'm going to throw a sensor on here. Don't need that there. And I need some stuff. Go grab that really quick. Steel plate, detectors, radio, computer, construction, interior. Okay, so I'll take some of that and that. Computers, construction components, which apparently I'm out of. No, they're down there. Okay. Oh, detector and radio, which I don't have, so I'm going to have to make some of those. So do 10 of those and 10 of those, and we'll come back with that. Okay, so I'm going to set up this sensor right here. Okay, and we'll just make that. Come on, come on. Come on. It's there for a second. There we go. All right, so now I need those. And they should be done by now. Where's my... Come on. There they are. Come on. I had it. There we go. All right, so now we can go into the sensor. And I like to try to name things. Actually, med sensor. All right, so the way a sensor works is it sees an area, and when it sees that area, it sees an area, and when it sees things enter and leave the area, it can trigger. So I want it to only trigger when a player is here, not when ships or other things. And I don't care who it is. Actually, we'll turn off enemy just in case an enemy comes in and wants to use my hydrogen. Let's see. And then we set up actions. And I can say, okay, when the sensor gets triggered, it's going to do the thing on the left. So I could go in and say I want my oxygen tank to turn off. The thing on the right is what it does when something leaves the area. We need to do two things. So we've got two options there. We can use a timer, which is the more advanced version, or we can do the simpler version, which is take the oxygen generator and the oxygen tank and put them into a group. We'll call it oxygen. And because one's off and the other one's on, currently, if I put this in here and tell it to toggle, it'll simply switch them. And when they leave, it'll... Oh, you're gonna do that to me? Really? Are you really gonna do that to me? You're not gonna let me do both? Oh, you're horrible. Well, okay, we might have to find a different solution, but I'm going to show you how this works anyway. Alright, do you see it's blue? And when I come in here, it turns green. Right now, it will fill my oxygen and my hydrogen. Unfortunately, now when I leave and come back, it will not fill up my hydrogen because I didn't toggle it back. Because it won't let me do the same action for in and out like that. That's too bad. Okay. Well, never mind on that. We will find another solution. Doesn't really matter for now. I think I'm actually going to just leave them toggled in that direction because I'm not going to be pressurizing for a little while. And then I'll have to set something up to manage the pressurization. So let's go to a lot more interesting automation. Over here, we're going to create... let's find it. It's the computer, well, programming block and a timer. There's the timer. There's the programming block. Okay. So we're going to need a programming block first. And we're going to need a timer in a second. And I like to have the control panel facing down so I can access it. I'm going to need a bunch of stuff. What did I need? I need displays, motors, and large steel tubes. Not too bad. There's a lot of large steel tubes in a computer, right? I mean, I don't know about your computer, but... displays and computers, of course. Wait, was that all? Motors. Is there a motor in a computer? Guess so. Here, I'll get 233 of them for you. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we have a programming block. Or a programmable block. Whoops. And I turned my helmet off by accident, because it's right next to the K. We're probably going to end up with a few of these, so I'm going to start by naming this. And I'm going to call it program. Which one should we do first? I'm going to do inventory first. So, actually, we're going to call it Tim, because this is the coding editor. Okay? You don't have to do anything here. You could type in all your code here, but forget that. Hit Browse Workshop. And if you need some, you can hit Browse Workshop down here. It'll take you into the Steam Workshop. But I already have the one I want. Taladin's Inventory Manager. Oh, this one is gorgeous. It took me forever to find this. So, this guy right here does so much awesome. It's awesome. All right, so we're going to hit check code. And it says compilation successful. You have to do that. I wish they would change that to compile. Because if you don't hit check code, it doesn't work. And you do need to compile it. So remember and exit. This programming block is now all set. That's all we needed to do. Okay? And if I hit run on this, you can see it said that it ran and all this stuff happened. And this is when it happened. I can hit run over and over and over again. And each time it runs, it'll do things. Now, right now, there's not a whole lot it's going to do. Oh, that's right. It names itself, so I don't need to do that. Okay, so I can just sit here and run this over and over again. But it's a lot easier to have a timer block do it. So we're going to set this delay to 1. I'm going to set up actions, and we're going to tell it, we want you to run with the default argument every second. Except, the way a timer block works is once it's triggered, it counts down to the end of its countdown, and then it runs, and that's it. We need to actually tell the timer block to start over again. So we put timer block in there and say start. So every second, it's going to run the TIM program, and then it's going to restart the timer, which will be for 1 second, and then it'll run the TIM program. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Now we need to start it the first time. Go. TIM is now running once a second. You can see it blinking up there. What does TIM do? Well, let's go take a look. If I open this up and I come down and look at our reactors, or our refinery, I mean, remember I was showing you that it's just working on the first one and doing nothing on the second one? Well, TIM can fix that for us. So if I go down and find my refineries, and I'm going to rename that to 1 because we don't have a 1 anymore. And I'm just going to type in TIM. I'm sorry, TIM OR. You notice that I didn't even have to really do that right. I can do TIM, or I spelled it wrong, and it's smart enough to fix that. Now if we go in and look at the refinery, you can see it automatically pulled uranium out of this one and put it down into this one. And it took my platinum and shoved it to the end and then started generating silver instead. What it did is it said, you've got plenty of platinum. You don't have enough silver. So I'm going to start generating the silver for you. And honestly, you also need a lot of nickel. Platinum you really don't need that much of, and you really don't need any more stone. You're good with stone, so we're going to put that at the very end. You could use some uranium, so I'm going to put that down here. It's smart enough to realize what is important, what the priorities are. It's really impressive, and that's not all it does. So the other thing it does is, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got this container here, and it's got a bunch of stuff in it, but I've also got, way down, where'd it go? My assembler. All right, I've got my assembler, and it's got 43 construction components sitting there. And those construction components are just sitting there. They're not, I've got 75 here. I might think I'm out and go generate more if I didn't realize these 43 were down here. So I'm always going up and down and looking between them. If I come over to that small cargo container, and I'm just going to rename this to small cargo TIM space component, it automatically pulls all components into it. You notice it pulled the construction components in there right away. It's that smart. Okay? I love it. It's great. I mean, Tatalon? What was it? Tatalon? Oh, shoot. See, I need to know this because there we go. Taladin. Taladin's inventory manager. Taladin, you are a champ. There are mods that will do this, but I'm running completely mod free. So I spent a lot of time looking for some sort of inventory manager. And when I ran across TIM, I was excited. All right. There's a bunch more that this does. I'm running out of time, but I think I've got time to do one more thing. The problem with working in glass is there's not a lot of walls to work with. All right. It's okay. All right. We are going to put up an LCD panel. All right. Like this. And let's see. I'm going to turn that way. We're going to need glass displays, computers, and construction components. Construction components. Where are the computers? Computers. Glass. And displays. Of course you need displays for display. All right. So we're going to put this up. Ah, that's right. That glass is inside out. We're We're going to put it... yeah. We're going to put it here for now, and then I'm going to turn all of my glass inside out. You're probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about. This glass over here, I wanted to place the medical room here, and I had the same problem with all the other glass. See how the glass takes a full block, and you can't place anything on this side of the glass. You can place stuff on the other side, but I don't want to place stuff on the other side. I want to place it on the inside. So I had switched around this glass for this section, which is why I can place these things here. But I haven't done it in the rest of the place. I'm going to do it later. For now, I've just got this. Okay. There we go. Ooh, I even got the right way around. All right, so now on this LCD panel, I'm going to do this. I'm going to type Tim component. And it's smart enough to know, I remember I named this one Tim component, and I'm naming this Tim component. It's smart enough to know if it's a container, that means he wants me to move everything into it. If I'm an LCD panel, then that means he wants to know everything about what he's got. And you notice it says I have 0 bulletproof glass. And if I go and put my bulletproof glass back and look up there, now it says I have 75 bulletproof glass. These numbers are all calculated in an ingenious way. I've seen other mods and whatnot that do this kind of thing. However, they have a quota based on a very large base. So at first, you're looking at your numbers and you're just depressed. You're like, I've only got 2,000 steel plate, and this thing says I need 100,000 steel plate. This one actually figures, hey, when you're early game, you don't need a huge quantity of things. So we're going to base all of the quotas off of how much you actually have of other things, if that makes sense. So it kind of knows I'm early game right now and knows that my quota is pretty small. As I put more things in here, the quotas will go up. So I'm never going to fill up all these bars because as far as it's concerned, the more I get, the more I need. I don't know if that's making sense, but I'm happy about it. So this is going to give me an idea of what I need to build next. Next time, maybe not next time. No, not next time. In a few episodes, I will probably be making a whole bunch more assemblers, and Tim has the ability to say, hey, if you're under quota and you've got an assembler dedicated to this item, and unfortunately you do have to dedicate an assembler to each item you want to be automatically created, it will automatically start creating until it's up to the quota. Neat, huh? But we're not quite there yet. I need to do stuff by hand for a little while. So I'm going to say, I need more construction components. There, make 400 of them. Then I'll be over quota. And you can already see it going up. Isn't that neat? All right. I think that's enough for this episode. We've done a little bit of automation. We're going to be doing a little bit more. I'm going to have at least one more computer and timer sitting there. And then, then I think the next thing I need to do... Oh, that's right. Tim also does another one for ores, and that'll tell us how we're doing on ores. Because right now, I don't know how I'm doing. I'd have to go in here and look. And Tim's smart enough to know that, kind of how much of each thing you need. See, I think I'm really low on iron, but I can't even tell. Let's see. Iron. Yeah, I have 5,000 iron. That's not good. That's not good at all. Wow, I don't even have any more ore? Seriously? Hang on, is it in here? Oh, good, it's in here. I've got 15,000 more ore. All right. I gotta kind of hand load that. I knew I had more around here somewhere. All right. So, I think that's enough. Look at that. Just pulled it right in. And actually, I'll bet. Yeah, look at that. It overrode. It said, hey, nickel is no longer, whatever. Oh, silver is no longer the most important thing anymore. Now iron is. We're going to get that iron done for you because, man, you needed iron. Next time, we're going to build a mining ship because running back and forth in this poor little guy, I'm probably going to fix him anyway in between episodes, but we really need a flying ship with a drill on the front of it that I can just go over and drill down to the ore and get it in large quantities, because going back and forth in that and hand mining things is getting annoying. All right, that's enough. Hopefully I won't have any more horrific accidents between this episode and next. Or maybe it'd be nice, you know? A little bit of comic relief to watch Epictetus slam his head into a barrier. Yeah. All right. I'll see you next time. Oh, hey, and don't forget to like the videos and tell your friends and subscribe and do all the awesome things and comment and tell me what you like and don't like. I really, really want to know. All right. So see you next time on Epic Tech.